you are constantly asked how to escape the scarcity loop. And you've had a lot of great advice in the past. You've stated that some of the best medicine is getting in touch with the environment and being okay with the concept of boredom. What else do you think the general public should take into account when thinking about escaping the scarcity loop?
Yeah. So, as part of the book Scarcity Brain, I identified this three-part behavior loop that I call the scarcity loop. And it's basically the ultimate capture of human attention. It causes us to repeat behaviors over and over and over that can be fun in the short term, but detrimental in the long run. So it's what makes slot machines work. That's really the industry that sort of dialed it in and got it to really start humming. And once that happened, you had a bunch of other industries look at Las Vegas and slot machines and go, how do we do that? So now you find it in social media, you find it in dating apps, you find it in online shopping, you find it in all these different industries across the board. And so the good news is that there is a way out of it. It's got three parts. And if you can either change or remove one of the three parts, that will stop a behavior. I mean, that's been demonstrated in studies going back to the 1950s. So part of what I talk about and write about is how do you do that? And then to your point, because you brought up the boredom thing, is that I think that most activities or things that improve humans today, they're often uncomfortable in the short term, but they're beneficial in the long run. So we'll take boredom as an example. Boredom is basically this evolutionary cue that tells you, whatever you're doing with your time right now, your return on your time invested has effectively worn thin. So you got to go do something else. Now, in the past, that something else would often be productive, right? If we are hunting and gathering or let's say we're gathering and we can't find any food, we'd get bored because we're not getting a return on that, right? And so it's this uncomfortable cue that tells us go do something else. And in the past, we maybe would have gone and tried hunting instead so we could survive and get food. Today, when we feel the discomfort of boredom, however, we've got a million easy, effortless escapes from it, right? We're doing these things that aren't necessarily enhancing our life. We're pulling out our phone. We're going to watch Netflix. We're going to do all these things. So I think when you look at a lot of the research on boredom, though, it is one of the best things that you can do for your creativity, to reduce stress, for your mental health in general. And there's amazing research behind this. And so when I think about it from the perspective of if I'm an employee, if I'm a student, if I'm someone who needs to think and create, try to be sane, boredom is a great thing to add to your life.